WLUW, you are on the air with DJ the Jimmer.
Hey, how's it going there, Jimmer?
It's going pretty good. How's your day going, sir?
It's been better, but not too bad. It's better now. I like your show. I listen every Tuesday, man.
Oh, well, I really appreciate that. It's very nice of you to say. I thank you for listening, and thanks for calling in.
Sure, no problem.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to share? Or you just calling to say hey?
Well, I'm just calling to say hey, and I didn't get a good night's sleep last night, so I always make Tuesdays my day to wake up. So I travel a lot. So I was down in Brandles, Missouri.
Well, I'm sorry. What was the name of the town?
Brandles.
Brandles,
Missouri.
Brandles, Missouri. Yeah. I've never heard of it. Is that near? Yeah. Is that near? Is that the Missouri side that's near the Ozarks?
I believe so.
Okay.
Like I said, it was. I got in when it was really dark.
Oh, okay. Do you travel? You mentioned you've been traveling. Do you travel for work, or why do you travel so much?
Yeah. I work. I review hotels basically.
Really?
Yeah. They ship me around, and I just it's kind of neat. You get to stay at different hotels, but yeah. Last night I was at Quality Sleep Safe Hotel in Brandles there, and it was just don't go there. Do not go there.
Oh, wow, okay. So you said it's the Quality Sleep Safe. I think I've heard of that chain before in Brandles, Missouri. And so you had a negative experience there?
Oh, God, yeah. Well, I mean, for starters, like I said, I got there when it was late, and just got in. They gave me my keys. I got up, and I found the accommodations there are very unwelcoming, very dark, and it's just unwelcoming at night, and until I turned the lights on, and then you can see your surroundings. I thought that was very, I don't know.
So what you're saying is that the room that they gave you was very dark until you turned the lights on?
Yeah.
Well, that seems pretty par for the course.
Well, I thought that was, I was going to let that slide, but even then I was in shock. I got in, got my bags down. I was just in shock and dismay. I was on that flight, and my throat was parched. I was just dismayed to find that the faucet in the bathroom area, it just merely dispensed water, and not Tab or Diet Dr. Pepper like I hoped. And I tried both sides, and it was just cold or hot. That was the only difference.
So you were upset. Okay, you were upset that the faucet in the bathroom didn't have Tab or Diet Dr. Pepper that came out of it when you turned it on?
Yeah.
Okay, and there was just regular old H2O coming out of the faucet there.
Yeah, 2 temperatures.
Well, that's nice. That's nice, at least. Yeah, well,
if you tasted the water, you probably wouldn't have had that. That's the same. And that was just for starters, because I also had to contact and complain to the manager several times.
Okay.
Concerning the difficulty I was having. And this is regarding my health.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm sitting in the room, and I'm just like, Jesus. I start, gasping for air. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe, and so I picked up the phone, and I called down there, and I was like, look, I'm having trouble breathing. I cannot breathe unless I open my mouth and I unpinch my nose. And this keeps happening. I had to call like eight or 10 times, and management would do nothing.
So you were laying on the bed, and you had your mouth closed, and you were pinching your nose, and you were wondering why you couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
And you were angry. You were angry with the management about that?
They didn't do anything to help me. In fact, they said something about, this is a prank, call. I need help. The quality sleep safe in Brandles, Missouri, Jimmer. Do not stay there. Jeez. Like I said, that was just for starters. I got up the next day, this is a couple days ago that I arrived, but the room service was terrible. I don't know if I mentioned that, but they had their table salt had too much sodium. I could taste it. You could taste the sodium in it.
Okay.
And their steak knives were dangerously sharp. I had to try and cut my steak with a spoon, and their spoons were not serrated. So I don't know how they expect you to eat your food. And I don't know, something had to have been wrong with the wine I ordered, because by the time I finished the 7th bottle of it, I'd never been so sick in my life.
By the time you finished the 7th bottle of wine?
Yeah.
Your tummy you felt a little sick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, if you obviously know more about this than I do if you review hotels, so it sounds like they were lacking some things that you normally need.
Well, yeah. And even just, common things that you expect to have happen, like, I found that a lot of the hotel residents had children, which is fine. It doesn't bother me.
Sure.
But for the most part, a lot of them were really abnormally short, for human stature, and they didn't speak. They weren't well spoken. If they weren't trying to communicate through some sort of gurgled grunting or giggling, they were, screaming or crying, which at that point, I find that offensive. If you're in this country, you should really take the time to learn some English.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I know that sounds racist, but as far as babies and children go, that's offensive to me.
Okay. So the children, you feel, didn't take enough time to learn the English language. And how old were these kids you're talking about?
Like I said, they were pretty small. I don't know if they were, I don't know what the politically correct term, dwarfism, or what it was. They were so lazy that they had people carrying them around the entire time, and it's just like this pampering has to end at some point.
Sure. Well, now I don't mean to. I just want to lay this out. You do know that they will, they'll keep growing. And then they'll eventually learn how to speak English. Their minds just haven't developed enough to where they know how to use speech effectively.
Well, they seem to be communicating quite well. With
so you
people
think
around them.
Maybe they're just a little lazy. They could take, instead of just pointing and making noises, they could take the time to actually say what they want.
Exactly.
Okay. Were there any other hiccups? It sounds like you had a really bad time down there. And did you say it was Brandles?
Yeah, Brandles, Missouri. Yeah, Quality Sleep Safe.
The Quality Sleep Safe in Brandles, Missouri. Any other hiccups?
Well, yeah, we'll get this, and this is pretty much the icing on the cake. Okay, this was yesterday afternoon. I woken up. It was about 1 o'clock. Was not feeling well. Like I said, I didn't even get to finish the 8-pack of wine I had.
They sell wine in an 8-pack?
Yeah, it comes. I ordered it from the front desk, and they had it brought up, and I had to send them back because originally they just sent 8 bottles of wine. And I was like, no, I want the 8-pack. You know, it has a little plastic ring, you know, connecting all of them. I don't know if you just, you know, randomly got 8 old ones off the shelf. Give me some new wine. I don't, you know, that stuff can go bad.
Okay. All right. Well, was there any other, you know, any other?
Oh, yeah. So yeah, like I said, I woke up at about 1 o'clock. All right, and I get this knock on my door. Okay, so I like, who's going to be knocking on my door at 1 o'clock in the afternoon? No one knows I'm here except for my boss, and he's not going to fly down here. So I go to check out to see who it is, and I look through a little peephole, and there's this streetwalker. It's like it's just this woman dressed as a French maid.
So wait. So you actually had a prostitute, a lady of the evening, knock on your door?
Yeah. She's hoping to turn tricks on me here, and I'm just at my hotel. I'm locked up in the room there, you know, thinking I'm safe. And she played it up too. She actually spent some money on this thing. You know, she even had a cart and some like cleaning supplies. You know, going the whole get up of the whole maid routine. I thought, you know, well, that's creative and all, but you know, I also always, you know, I just thought French maids, you know, wore something a little bit more tantalizing than the little. She had like a frumpy little baby blue jumper this lady was in. I don't know why anyone would be interested, you know, in that visually. And so she's knocking. She's housekeeping, and I'm like, okay, you know, playing the whole act. All right.
Okay.
And so I said, I'm just gonna play it safe. I'm gonna stay silent. And then when I didn't hear her knock on the door anymore, she started to unlock it, Jimmer.
Okay.
The bloody front desk gave this tramp my room key. I'd never been so insulted in my life, ever. She scampered around my room for a bit. I could have sworn she may have heard my labored breathing through the closet door. You know, I tried watching her through the slats, trying to catch like a glimpse of her trying to steal something. I knew she was after something. I guess when she realized that there wasn't anyone around to pleasure, she got bored and she started doing, you know, ladylike things and started cleaning up the room. So, you know, sitting there thinking, well, at least their whores are constructive.
Oh, wait, hey, well, we don't need to use the W word here.
Oh, sorry. Hookers. At least their hookers are constructive in their downtime. You know, I thought when she was, you know, when she was there, she left. I waited a minute and stepped out of my room, she stepped out of my room. And to my astonishment, there were swarms of these women of the night lining up and down the hallways, all dressed as these horribly dressed French maids, and all with that same maid cart thing, which they never even bring into the room. It's just like to mark your front door as being the person being pleasured.
Okay, well, can I tell you what my theory is on this?
Well, wait, there's one other thing, because I thought maybe all of them were the same, you know, except for there was just this one, and she was, you know, strangely without a cart, not dressed as the cleaning lady. She was dressed up like an elderly tourist in like a bonnet and a sundress.
Okay.
She's walking down the hallway towards my room carrying a newspaper and a half-eaten croissant.
Okay.
She had to be in her late 80s, this one, Jimmer. I slammed the door shut, deadbolted it behind me. I even used a little chain thing, which doesn't really do much,
right?
Especially in this, you know, horrible establishment. For all I know, they probably have a key for that too.
Okay. Okay. Is that the end of your rant?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
What, can I tell you what I think was going on there?
Well, sure.
I think that was the cleaning lady, and that she was just doing her job. And when, as you noticed, you went to hide in the closet and heard some labored breathing, and she just started cleaning the room. I have a feeling that's what she was there to do the whole time. And the elderly woman with the half-eaten croissant in the newspaper that looked like a tourist. You remember you were talking about her?
Yeah.
I think she might have been a tourist.
I don't know, Jimmer. You could have seen it in her eyes. She was after something.
Okay. She had that look in her eye. Well, that may very well be, but, I've listened to all of your complaints. There was you went into the hotel and the sink didn't dispense Tab or Diet Dr. Pepper. The lights, you had to turn them on in order for there to be light in the room. You started to get sick after drinking 7 bottles of wine. The knives were too sharp. The salt had too much sodium in it. It seems like these are things that aren't really that big of a problem, and that maybe you just perceive them to be. I'm not telling you how to do your job. You must be successful at what you do, and maybe you call for a higher standard of excellence than I do, but none of those things that you mentioned would bother me.
See, and maybe that's why, I have my job, you have yours.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's not even that. I woke up, it was freezing.
Right.
And, so I took my head out of the little, mini fridge, and I'm just, I had to call down to the front desk again, and I think that's what triggered him to start sending the swarm of hookers.
Okay.
I know you don't do this for a living, and I understand that, and I respect your show. I respect you, Jimmer.
I appreciate that.
But this is, do not, I stress, do not stay at the Quality Sleep Safe. They have it has a picture or a little sign outside. There's a little safe and little elves like dangling from it.
Okay.
With pillows.
All right.
And so if you see that as you're driving through Brandel's, Missouri, stay clear, because it's a nightmare.
Okay. Well, if I ever find myself in Brandel's, Missouri, I will use caution when thinking about staying at the Quality Sleep Safe. How does that sound?
That sounds great. And stress, my name's Roger. I don't know if I said Roger Milweise. I'm a professional. I do this for a living.
Okay.
Even with the Tab and Diet Dr. Pepper, I would have been okay with RC Cola, but
okay. Well,
it's ridiculous.
And you've been to hotels where those things just magically happen.
I have been to establishments far better than this one.
Okay. All right. Well, point taken. And you said your name was Roger Milweise. Well, thanks for the tips, and thanks for the sort of cautionary tale there. We'll be sure to look out for those sort of things if we're ever in Brandel's, Missouri.
Well, I appreciate it. You have a great show, and thank you again.
Thank you, Roger, and you have a great day.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye now.